All right, happy Sunday night, everybody. Welcome to Raiderland Rewind, coming to you from the Arctic Air Studios here at theraiderland.com. Glad you're out there tonight. Way too late last night to try to do a rewind, so let you guys sit, percolate, think on it, all that good stuff, and maybe some folks a little bit of the piss and vinegar gone, and a more rational, perhaps, discussion of what transpired in Pullman, Washington can be had tonight. We're glad you're with us tonight. The early arrivals, you know what to do. Give us hearts, thumbs up. Let us know in the comment section whether you're on Twitter or X, or whether you're on our Facebook Live page. Maybe you're on our YouTube channel. A lot of new YouTube subscribers. Glad to have you out there. United Supermarkets, Market Street. They take care of all the communication here in Raiderland, just like they take care of all your grocery needs. I got 2 steaks right now waiting to go on the grill that I picked up yesterday. 2 good-looking ribeyes there from Market Street. Of course, Raiderland Rewind brought to you by Thacker Jewelry in Lubbock, West Texas Originals. And if you're looking for something original for the love of your life, you need to drop on by Thacker in their showroom there on West 82nd Street. Tell them we said hello in Raiderland, or Raiderland. Easy for me to say. And for those of you suffering from massive allergies today in West Texas, I'm right there with you. The last 48 hours have been just brutal, but we're going to get through it together, won't we? Shall we begin? In 3. Good evening, West Texans, all you good, fine, friendly folks out there who wish you were. I'm Ryan Hyatt, theraiderland.com. You started your day on the website like you always do, checking out the column, 5 things we know on a Sunday. We always appreciate it when you drop us a line, add a comment, or anything else there at theraiderland.com. This is, of course, Raiderland Rewind. Hell, I named the show 25, 30 years ago. You'd think I'd be able to say it by now. Tech falls 37-16 at Washington State. And once again, it's not always what happens. It's how it happens. It's not always what you do, but how you do what you do. And for the last 2 weeks, Texas Tech has not been doing what they do very well. Last week, it was mainly on the defensive side. Special teams were great. Offense was pretty decent. Well, it got off to a bad start on special teams, and then the offense never got going last night. And we had told you for most of the week we didn't anticipate Taj Brooks playing. And that wasn't the reason, in my opinion, why the offense struggled. This was still another week of mismatched. You tell me what the offense is. You tell me what the offensive philosophy is, because I don't know what it is right now for Texas Tech. So you guys tell me tonight, because I don't know. The defense was okay, good enough, but they were put in such horrible positions all night long that you asked them to do too much too many times by going for it on 4th down, turnovers, things of that sort. And I'll give the defense, a little bit of credit. I thought they showed improvement week 1 to week 2. The offense obviously regressed, and in special teams, you fumbled the opening kickoff. So we are sitting here going into game 2 with more questions than answers about this team right now. And I'll ask you tonight your thoughts, your comments. I'll tell you what I think. But it was the second week where this team looked, quite frankly, unprepared, undisciplined, uninspired, and uncoached. And all of those things begin to add up. If you watched the post-game press conference with Joey McGuire last night, or maybe you watched it today, I'm beginning to question if Joey McGuire is doubting Joey McGuire right now. That wasn't a confident Joey McGuire. That wasn't a Joey McGuire that I'm used to seeing. That was a Joey McGuire that was questioning going for it on 4th down and doing what they do and just all sorts of stuff. Has Joey McGuire lost Joey McGuire? I don't know. But we'll roll through it tonight. There are so many different aspects to this game that I want to get your thoughts and go from there. Yeah, I mean, the 21 penalties in 2 games is awful. You know who has 21 penalties in 2 games? Hi there, North Texas coming into town. Settle in. We could be there a while come Saturday. Who knows? But yeah, the penalties are one thing. Again, it's not always what you do, it's how you do it. The pre-snap penalties are killing Texas Tech. And yes, this offensive line suffered some injuries last night, but the penalties were happening before the injuries there in the 3rd quarter. And a pre-snap penalty, to me, has nothing to do, for the most part, with who's out there. You line up, you go on the snap. Now, after that, that's when a mismatched offensive line begins to have problems. But you got to be able to get the snap off. You had 4 first down penalties, 4 penalties on first down last night that put you behind the chains. Your average third down distance was 8.1 yards last night. That'll kill you. The pre-snap penalties are bad. No two ways about it. James is in. Our Facebook crew is in. Waiting on our YouTube people to show up. Waiting on our Twitter people to show up there in the comments as we go through tonight. Good evening, Lynn. I hope you're having a good day. Cowboy fans ought to be having a good day. Houston Texan fans, a little tight, but for the most part, I'd say for the most part, I thought Houston controlled that game today. The Colts, though, they may be a problem as the year goes on if Richardson continues to get better. But, yeah, Cowboy fans ought to be feeling good today. Dak Prescott got his money, and, Deshaun Watson's just fraudulent. He's just a fraudulent NFL quarterback. CJ says, penalty killed us, reminded me of the undisciplined Kingsbury years. Absolutely. Or the undisciplined Leach years or Spike years or anytime Tech's been undisciplined. Tuberville years. Matt Wells years. Michael, yo. Does Micah Hudson play for Tech? He caught a pass last night. What more do you want out of a freshman? Man, he's a true freshman. He's just trying to figure out how to play football. It's not like he's like some highly rated recruit coming in with tons of hype that, you thought he was going to be a factor in the program day one. I mean, this is just some kid off the street, just happy to have a scholarship. I mean, he caught a pass. What more do you people want? Chris, 4th and 1, lineup and shotgun kills me. I agree 100%. Did you see how Washington State schemed a similar situation later on in the game? Quarterback under center, Mateer pops out left side. Works every time. Yeah, just making sure I'm busy. Yeah, I mean, yeah, he got a pass last night. What more do you want? What more do you want to see? Texas Tech, as we go through offensively, obviously disjointed. I have no idea what the offensive philosophy is, and whether Brooks is in there or not, you still have to do certain things. You still have to commit to the run. We'll get to the bubble screen, hitch pass, wide receiver screen, all of that stuff as we go through tonight. I hate the play in general, so I am biased, and I freely admit it. I hate the play in general for a lot of reasons. And one, because I hated having to throw it. Well, when I was a guy having to throw it, I hate it. But Texas Tech ran it far too many times. You got to go downfield. You didn't attack downfield. You were 11 of 32 if you were Texas Tech last night in passes over 5 yards. Think about that. The vast majority of completions, the ones you had, were 5 yards or under. You've got to be able to attack downfield. If you don't, nothing else opens up. Part of that also is running the football, so you can do a little play, so you can go downfield. Morton, his worst game as a Red Raider. He looked lost. He looked uncertain. He looked timid. He stepped in and made about one throw all night. I think it was in the third quarter that he really stepped in and made a throw downfield and stepped in and made it. And it to the point where as the night went on, I'm wondering, are we hiding an injury again? Is there something wrong with Morton? But I don't know what I don't know. Is this offense a wildcat offense now? Is it hitch screens with Taj Brooks? And I don't know that you'll have Taj Brooks back this coming week. I don't know why they just didn't say he was out. The injury report, by the way, is a joke. Glad they're doing it, but it's pretty much a joke. But if you guys know what the offense is, let me know. The offensive line is still a mess and will be a mess now depending on the injuries. Red Raider Mitch is on YouTube. Good to see our YouTube people getting in. Raiderland Rewind running with you guys tonight. Normally we're after the game. Like this coming Saturday will be mid-afternoon following Tech in North Texas. It was just too late last night. I thought Yost was calling the game last night. I like him. He's a good guy. But yeah, flashbacks. CJ, was Morton rattled? Just looked not good at all. There wasn't anything really to rattle him. He wasn't sacked last night. He was hurried. As the announcer said, he was under duress quite a bit. But there were still some clean pockets. There were still opportunities to make throws. He just didn't look good. Horrible game. So you tell me why. I'm still wondering about that at this time. And I truly did, as the night went on, watching him throw the ball, I'm thinking that something doesn't look right. That's not the same arm we watched last week at Jones Stadium. And I know you were halfway across the country, but it shouldn't affect it that much. Yeah, 11 of 32 passes over 5 yards. This offense has to get downfield more. Everything opens up when you go downfield. Shallow crosses, tight ends, wheel routes out of the backfield to a running back. All of that. When I throw a bubble screen, so many things have to go right. Here's why I hate the play. First off, the throw has to be 100% perfect. The quarterback has to get the ball in his hands and immediately get it out there. And as soon as he starts to do that, by the way, the entire defense is shut off half the field and they're running over there. So you've given up half the field as the quarterback takes the ball and does this. So that's the first reason I hate it. The pass has to be perfect. Next, and I can scheme this all day long on a dry erase board. I can get 3 hats on 2 hats, and I can do this, and we can block that, and I can get 5, and then he goes up. Wide receivers typically aren't good blockers. That's why they're wide receivers. I know, breaking news. I was flabbergasted myself. We did a deep dive on this, and wide receivers are not typically good blockers. And the guys they're trying to block have space and are incredibly athletic and can maneuver and get around you. So now we've got the next thing. I've got to catch the ball, and every block has to be made. Whether it's 2-on-3, 3-on-2, I don't care what your formation is. But even after we do that, the entire defense now is running over here because we shut off half the field. You might break one every now and then. And yeah, you had the Coy Aiken touchdown pass doing that. That's, hey, good. Good on you. But if you run that enough, it becomes almost a play action if you want to do it that way. But I hate the play. For this offense to utilize the weapons it has, and I do believe it has weapons, I think, you've got to move the ball downfield, in between the hashes, outside the hashes. You got to take, not shots, you've got to throw the ball downfield. The biggest problem most NFL quarterbacks have, you look at the good ones, the bad ones, they don't push it downfield. The next thing on this offense, hey, Zach, love you, brother. Truly do. Don't go fast. You don't do well when you go fast. When you go to hurry up, you don't do well. And I know you can call in the play and get it out quick now, and it's an allure to get to go faster doing that. Don't do it. Your guys don't do it well. I don't know if it's pre-snap read. I don't know what it is. And they can still match personnel packages. So don't do it. All right? It's okay. You can still move deliberately and fast with tempo without making your own team look bad. Damon is on Facebook, our Facebook. Where are Twitter people tonight? No, we always have like scads of people on Twitter. Where are my Twitter commenters tonight? Jump in if you're on Twitter. Damon, someone needs to tell Joey that it's okay to punt. Every possession should end with a kick. Agreed. Okay, so going forward on 4th down, we'll address that right now. I don't have a problem in and of itself going forward on 4th down. The problem with the chart, the problem with the analytics, the problem with the numbers is that they're dead the minute the game starts. That's just a number. The minute the game starts, I have to factor in everything. Am I controlling things? Am I the team in control? Am I dictating? Am I dictating tempo here? What have they done to me? What am I doing well? Why am I doing this? And then, hey, if I do get it, what happens then? A lot of those 4th downs, that if you got it, you're not in scoring position after you get the 1st down. You got to go do it all over again. And I know the last 2 years, Texas Tech, when they've gone from it, have had a net positive on points versus points given up. Don't really give a crap. Don't really care. The mindlessness of the going forward on 4th down bothers me. And It obviously bothered Joey McGuire last night because, as I said, Joey McGuire didn't look like last night that he trusts Joey McGuire. That scares me. Ryan, name a team in the Big 12 less impressive than Tech so far. I can't. Even Houston bounced back and showed up to play. They're against Oklahoma. Oklahoma, by the way, deserves to lose every time they wear those uniforms. Chris, is the pitch out to running back completely gone? Wayside in favor of wide receiver screen. Yeah. I mean, in order to pitch it out to a running back, you've got to be basically under center. So when you spend 95% of your time out from under center, you're just not going to do that. The relationship is gone, and for a lot of different reasons. Scheming it up that way, it's just not there. Targeting penalty was ridiculous. I don't know what else Chapman could have done. I hate that because the quarterback, the running back, everybody else, they can duck their head. They can plow into you. But me as a defender, what am I supposed to do? Horrible call, horrible use of the rule. Is McGuire out of a job if he goes 3-9, 4-8? I don't know. I don't know. I know he would be on the hottest of seats. I know that if that played out, we got a long ways to go. Long year. Long ways to go. And when I say that, that's either good or bad. I don't know. I know that he still has the support of very powerful people within the university structure and within the alumni support structure. So take that for what it's worth. But it would be a most uncomfortable position. Did the O-line improve, in my opinion? No, it did not. It did not improve. No. And that was before the injuries. Tyler wants to know, there's our Twitter people. Finally, Tyler, somebody getting in off Twitter. What's wrong with you Twitter people? Cowboy game's over. Can we take some of that money used to build overpriced luxury seating to hire a proper Power 5 football coach? Literal definition of putting the cart before the horse. Who you want to hire? Let's go ahead, do that. Tyler, give me the list that you want to money whip in, and we'll do that. I think they should take the money and buy offensive linemen and defensive linemen and do that. Somebody asked me today, how do you get better? Well, you got to get better players first off. Go from there. What can change? North Texas is Tech coaching staff Achilles heel North Texas is Tech's Achilles heel. At various and sundry times, I've mentioned before, my first game as a student in 1988, Texas Tech loses to North Texas. I'm thinking, this is not good, is it? This should not be happening. Chris, Kitley would be out at a minimum with that record. Yeah, you would probably be making some major staff changes if you had the disaster. If the worst case scenario played out, yeah, you would probably be making staff decisions for sure, or somebody would do it. Cumbie will be available. Yikes. Yeah, I don't see that happening. Again, got a ways to go. Coach Emo going to be a problem next Saturday. They know you, you know them. The pride of shallow water coming back to Texas Tech. Glad you guys are watching Raiderland Rewind, a rare Sunday edition following the 37-16 loss at Washington State. Brought to you by Thacker Jewelry, creating West Texas' unique, one-of-a-kind, legendary jewelry for 50 years. Let's see, Ryan says, Tech bought many players this offseason, and talent is approved or improved. Something else seems to be missing. Every recruiting analyst, every personnel people, everybody been telling me for the last 2 years that the talent that Joey McGuire is bringing in is better than what they had, and that it is improving. So then again, what is it? Yeah, what else is missing? What's happening? What the hell's going on? Fake Natalie Maines. Dear Hyatt, how are you? I am fine. I'm allergy-ridden and doing my best not to sneeze during the course of this program tonight. It's hard to go downfield when he was throwing on the run because our line continues to get pushed around. He had some pockets to work with. Most of the time, though, the play just wasn't downfield. The play call wasn't there. Help me out. Did we throw in the middle of the field? I'd have to go back and look at the spray chart. I mean, there were some, not many. And again, Morton he didn't look right. Tech paid $1 million for a softball pitcher. What's the going rate for offensive line? Pony up, whatever it is. You got to get better there. You got to get better everywhere, but you got to get better there. And I'm not completely giving the defense a free pass last night, but I'm giving Tim DeRuyter's bunch a moderately free pass because they were put in such horrible positions last night that you can only do so much in college football with the rules going against you. Washington State ran 57% of their plays in Texas Tech territory. Let me say that again. 57% of the snaps they took were in Texas Tech territory. Red Raider Mitch on where is he on YouTube? Our YouTube channel. If you haven't subscribed to Ryan Hyatt's Raiderland on YouTube, please do so. Go do that. Even if you don't take in everything there, that'd be awesome. It just drives up the numbers. It gets more people involved. You can watch us on Facebook Live. You can watch us on Twitter, wherever it is. Of course, the daily broadcast every night at 6:30, and then check out the website, theraiderland.com. Did you see our column? Hey, you can't hurt my feelings. I'm a Tech fan. One time he stepped up in the pocket, he threw a wounded duck for an interception. He did have one good throw from the pocket. It was left sideline, left hash, thing in the third that looked like, wow, there it is. Where's Isaiah Crawford? Has he made the field? I don't have a participation chart. I'll go look and see, but not an impact, obviously. Much like the Micah Hudson question, the Micah Hudson impact. All right, let's go there now. I don't get it. Talking about Micah Hudson. You know? A couple of snaps last week. He had a catch in the first half. No real impact. Don Williams asked him in the post-game presser, you know, what's keeping him off the field, basically. And, you know, McGuire went into this odd, and this was the odd McGuire last night. And I know he was mad, angry, frustrated. But this rambling thing about, yeah, well, people are clamoring for me to throw to tight ends and clamoring for us to do this and clamoring for that. And, you know, when you put him out there, well, who do you take out? Josh Kelly had this and that. And it was like a guy trying to convince himself. Like a guy trying to convince himself why Hudson went out there. And I mean, okay, if Hudson's not good enough to be out there, then you ought to just say, he's coming in from high school. He has tremendous skill set, but the transition to college is taking a little time. He's just not there yet compared to the receivers we have. It's okay to say that. But just something weird. I don't get it because nothing up to that point, and Texas Tech pays hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars for the media hype machine that puts out the videos and does the brand and does this and everything else. And you were led to believe, not me, you, the fan, the ticket buying public, you know, that this guy would be a day one impact. If that wasn't going to be the case, don't act like it. I don't get it. Something's off on that front. Danny, Joey said several times, year 3 is when players should be starting to figure out. I wonder if that applies to coaches. It should. Again, if anybody wants to tell me what the offensive philosophy is for Texas Tech right now, let me know what it is. It seems to be a grab bag, a mismatch of things that I don't know how you get great at something if you don't commit to it fully. And I don't know what they commit to. They've got 1,000,001 cool schemes to roll out. I don't see it. John, at this point, I don't see us getting better. May win some. Don't think we'll be 6-6. I don't know. We'll see. John, he'll be crying when Hudson leaves and the portal opens. Is it possible, says Lynn, the coach is in over his head in college football? It's always possible. Although, for a guy who is, quote, in over his head, he's fashioned a winning record. He's fashioned a winning record in Big 12 games that coaches hadn't been able to do for the most part at Texas Tech in the last 25 years, getting you to bowl games, winning bowl games. So I'm not willing to go down the field and say, you know, he's in over his skis on this. Bob, is it me or does Kitley run the same plays year after year? Yeah, kind of. No, I'm not saying it's just you. But I don't know what the philosophy of the plays is sometimes. Wonder if Hudson is not the player the hype said he was. It's entirely possible. It happens all the time. Patrick Mahomes seems to think he's good. Why has Micah Hudson scrubbed his Twitter of all tech images and replaced with a question mark? Chris, I can't comment on that. I don't follow him on social media. Don't have time to go through it. If that has happened, that would obviously be concerning, I would think. Chris, yeah, the hype and the uniform videos need to stop. Seems to be somewhat of a meandering, dumb focus. Well, what it is, it's recruiting. That these schools, and Tech's not the only one that does it, obviously. All of these schools do these videos, they do these things, they do this because they are convinced that that's how you reach the 15, 16, 17-year-old recruit. That you've got to have the sizzle, you've got to have all of that stuff, or you can't recruit. So it's two different things. The message is designed not for you, the fan, but for actually the recruit. That's what it's about. But then the fans see it, and now you're seeing something that's not translating on the field. Hardest working, most competitive, whatever. You don't see that. So when you put all that stuff out there, I kind of feel bad for Joey McGuire because I think he has zero to little bit of control over any of that stuff that goes out. That's handled outside of his office. But he's the one who's got to live with everything they put out there. And again, they're not putting it out there for you. They're not putting it out there for 35-year-old, 45-year-old, 60-year-old dudes. They're putting it out there for recruits. But you see it, and you go, hey, none of this matches. Bob, Ohio State has a true freshman. He's balling. Why is that not playing? Well, we told you a few minutes ago. Joey said he can't take the people off the field who are playing too good or something. I don't know. Craig, our playbook at Coronado back in 1995, less predictable than Texas season. Because you could get wild and crazy and funky with a funky Cole Medina with a little wing tee and Butch Henderson. Let me tell you right now. C.J. Morton interview, he states it was him, but he said he wasn't hurt anywhere. Yeah, I know, I saw that. And I've heard a lot of players over the years say I'm not hurting. And coaches say, oh, they're fine. 50% bubble screens. Hate them. Even hate the term bubble screen. As we detailed earlier in the broadcast, you guys can go back and listen to my diatribe on the play. My diatribe against it. Or as some would say, Hyatt was on a rant. You guys don't know what a rant is from me. Numbers. Go back and look at the numbers. Go. Yeah, Brown, 3 catches, 41 yards with a long of 19. He had 11 yak. Kelly, king of the yak last night, 77 on the yak. But that's what happens when you're catching 5-yard passes for the most part. And then Coy Aiken, best quarterback last night, Coy Aiken. Oh, what do we think about Cameron Dickey there? 725, 3.6. Valdez, I was expecting more, but I thought they'd run them more. And then, of course, you're a Wildcat team, so you got Conyers in there. Has McGuire lost confidence in Joey McGuire? If y'all didn't see it, it's on the website. It's on the Tech website. Go watch the post game. I have not seen him react that way as a Texas Tech coach. Really do. You got questions, you got comments, let us know. We'll hang out with you guys as long as the conversation is interesting, entertaining, and moderately fun. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a Vinny Vanzetta signing, former Fox 34 legend. Hey, the Red Raiders could have been the Roadrunners yesterday. Sometimes you're the windshield and sometimes you're the bug. Texas State got nasty. It was absolutely nasty. I don't know what Lynn is saying yes to, but I agree, unless I shouldn't. Okay, if he's lost confidence in Joey. Yes, he's lost confidence. I think fans are under his skin a little. Now, that I will agree with. The reaction to Don Williams asking about Taj Brooks simply last Monday, Hey, Howard, when did it happen? And, oh, you know, guy never got questioned at Cedar Hill. Guy's never really done anything like this. I get it. I understand it. He needs to lose confidence in analytics. I agree. Analytics are great as a tool in your tool chest, but you don't rely upon them inherently just because it says so. Again, we talked about this early in the broadcast. It doesn't take into account game flow, control, everything that matters. Otherwise, I could just have a couple of dorks with laptops on the sideline getting real-time information and just say, the computer says to do this. Hey, you know what that was? Well, that was Gary Woodward, or what was the guy, the manager for the Rangers a few years ago? Yeah, that was him. Overall, Joey's been great, but this is the first crisis he's had to navigate as tech coach. Yeah, moderate crisis, low-level crisis, mid-level crisis. Basically throwing his hands up like, don't understand why we aren't playing better. Well, like I said, you looked unprepared, undisciplined, uncoached, and uninspired. Other than that, it was unbelievable. Emo UNT might roll into Lubbock and take us to the woodshed. No, they won't take you to the woodshed. But it could very well be a competitive game. 12 points, the opening line at Circa. I have not seen any of the other moves today. Can we trade a few pallets of communion wine? ACU for McIver. What ACU do this weekend? I didn't even know. I didn't even see. What the fighting Keith Pattersons do? Washington State's quarterback had over 200 yards rushing, for what I heard. He had 215, and then he took a big loss, like a 17, 18-yard loss late in the fourth quarter, and he couldn't get it back. And I was like, so I'm watching this, wonder if the coaches are paying attention in the booth, because he needed 3 more yards to get to 200, and they didn't do it. They didn't run him that way. Mateer was really good. And early on, I was impressed with what they were doing. Glad you mentioned this. We'll talk about this. 38-21 the ACUs. Squeezed out against Western Georgia. Didn't even know that was a school. So what you saw Washington State doing last night with Mateer was really good if you have that kind of quarterback. They obviously are spreading the field by formation. And they knew that Texas Tech and Tim DeRuyter would probably come in with a 3-man front, would probably have a light box, that there wasn't going to be a lot of respect for the run game until you made them respect it, and that they knew that they were going to have to cover out. So you've got linebackers sitting deep, and, again, we're calling it a light box. And they schemed it really nice on those runs, bringing, backside guards coming across, almost like a trap play, giving you this look. But really, they only had 2 guys to block to get him downfield. And you would hold. Mateer did a great job of holding the linebackers just long enough, thinking, all right, he might do something here, talking about throwing the ball, and then moving and going. Totally different from an RPO. But it was a really good, and I don't know, I haven't checked out the Washington State coverage, how many of those were checked into either at the line or how many of those were designed play calls. But as Texas Tech did build a bigger front as they went on. They got into more of an even man front look, just trying to jam up some of the areas that he could run to, all the while knowing that this is still predominantly a pass type deal. I thought it was a really good scheme, and obviously the kid can run. But he joins the Hall of Honor of all the great running quarterbacks, like the Michael Jordan of college football, Brad Johnson, Missouri quarterback, 2003. There, B.J. Simmons, if you're watching. So I was impressed by Washington State and how they put that together, and you guys know all the connections between Kitley, Arbog, all those guys. Really good to watch right there. Scott, Coach M is coming to terms with how difficult this head coaching job really is in a Power 5 conference. Why didn't Joey strip to Detroit? This didn't help him win last night. Well, you can only throw so many tight end passes and screen passes. They are throwing the screen pass. They're throwing the tight ends, the screen game. Well, actually, they weren't throwing to the tight ends. They got a tight end. They ran him as a wildcat. Jacob's View off of our YouTube channel, which hopefully everybody's going and subscribing to tonight. Give me another 100 subscribers to that tonight. That'd be awesome. the good for all involved this year, UNT get right game, head to conference. I was scared of this mythical 5-0 start. Why were you scared? Doesn't have anything to do with you. You have no reason to be scared. Or otherwise, you're not involved. You're just watching. Yeah, the legendary Seneca Wallace, who ran for 170 yards on one play. Good Lord, he's still running there in Ames. No, I'm going to disagree with Jacob here and say every Tech fan should have looked at the schedule and looked at this team going in and said, you know what? You should be 5-0. No, you could be. You should be if you're the team and the program that you think you are and you need to be and you want to be. There's not a team on the first five that you look at and you looked at going in and said, oh, yeah, going to have trouble with that one. But alas, you have to go on the road and you can't play on the road. Why can't you play on the road? I don't know. Are you not mentally tough enough? What is that? What is so different? I don't know. Mentally weak, perhaps. We get to that. We got to Mateer. We talked about the light box right there. We talked about Micah Hudson. 4 first down penalties. Not going downfield, not challenging downfield. All right, that's pretty. I think I'll go back one more time. The loss of Taj Brooks last night, while he is an All-American running back, should not have forced you to fundamentally change who you are running the football if you're giving scholarships to Valdez and Dickey and anybody else. That you've still got to commit to that. You've got to do that. Otherwise, the rest of the offense, I don't believe, is going to function. And it didn't function last night. You can't just say, well, Taj Brooks isn't there. Well, Taj Brooks not there. Taj Brooks might not be there for a while. I hope he's back soon. But if that was the delicate thread that the offense is hanging upon and everything is gone after that, you're done. You know? You still got big fat guys in front of them. Block somebody. Don't jump off sides. I also, now, they said on the TV broadcast with the idiot dolt play-by-play guy that McGuire at one time seemed to be upset that maybe Washington State was, trying to simulate the snap, barking, doing stuff. I don't know if that's the case. Again, you just got to be better than that. You just can't jump off sides. Rule number 1 as an offensive lineman, you can't jump off sides. I'd rather you hold. I'd rather you hold in the course of the play. Did we mention 4 first down penalties, 40 yards? Fans should protest the product on the field by staying home. Empty stadium may help motivate changes within. A little early for that, Tyler. A little early. Quarterback Morton throwing long, so inaccurate, especially deep balls. Is his shoulder not really right? Your thoughts? I posited earlier. I wondered watching him last night if maybe the shoulder was dinged up after the ACU game or something. They assured us it was not. He had enough clean pockets that I thought he could have stepped up and thrown it better, but he just didn't put zip on the ball. He didn't do it. He didn't get it there last night. If his arm was hurt, nothing on it showing a reason for being hurt, but he helped motivate on the sidelines. Something. I mean, I like Morton. Morton's a immensely talented quarterback. I think he can be a very good college quarterback. I think he had a horrible game last night for whatever reason. That did not look like him throwing the football last night. Why? I don't know. It's football. As I sit here in the Arctic Air Studios, pontificating and wondering, I don't know. Ryan says Joey's such a positive guy. Maybe that's a detriment early and the players don't realize it's hard to win. No, I'm not buying that. When you're at the college level and you're in the Big 12 and you're at this level, you know how hard it is to win. I mean, you ought to know how difficult it is to win when you rolled out there Saturday and barely beat ACU. So I don't believe it's that. And I don't believe that just a positive attitude somehow makes the players think, oh, we're so great, we don't have to do anything. I'm not buying that. I would rather have a positive coach for the most part than a negative coach. One deep ball I saw him throw kind of off when he was running off the field. Yeah. Could be a string of 11 a.m. starts on the horizon. That's good because in the Big 12, that's prime time, baby. Prime time, 11 a.m., the best of the best. Tyler would be like, every quarterback that leaves here goes somewhere else and play like an All-American. I don't think he's going anywhere. Yeah, I'm pretty confident on that. Let's see what we're missing here. We got that. All right, your thoughts before we get out of here. What's on your mind? Cowboy fans, feel good, enjoy it. Dak got his contract. Unfortunately, you can't play Deshaun Watson and the Cleveland Browns every week. What a fraudulent quarterback. Don't believe in him, you know. Starter 179. Will not renew season tickets next year. Tried to hang on the last 15 years. It's not even funny anymore. Team isn't prepared at all. Were they clearing our linebackers out? We were chasing everyone. Not any more so than anybody else does with shallow cross or anything like that. Actually, I thought the linebackers had a pretty good night when they could get involved. You don't have a solid backup quarterback that has any experience whatsoever that you want to put on the field right now and hope you can win games. Now, do they have, is Hammond good? Yeah, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. Why do identity as old guy, that makes us 55-year-old, near death or super seniors? I like the term super seniors, yeah. The old guy thing was a joke, and now I just leave it up there. Somebody on Twitter, you're just an old guy. You don't like stuff. Yeah. I didn't like stuff when I was a young guy. Ask Don Williams. I was cranky as a young guy. Still don't know where the 5 games are to be 6-6. Well, they're out there. I got a dry erase board, and I see them. There's that one and that one and that one. We now have the most penalties in the nation, 133rd out of 133 teams. I thought Tech was at 121. Maybe I'm wrong. I thought both Tech and North Texas were at 121 after this week. Either way, crap ton of penalties. Derek, fact check. Not cranky, just maybe cranky. Not cranky today. Hell, I'm in a better mood than most of you people. Why was tackling the quarterback in open field so difficult last night? Tackling is difficult in the open field and in other places because teams don't spend a lot of time doing it. And now it starts in high school. They don't do very many tackling drills in high school, full contact, all speed, everything else. So they don't do a whole lot in high school. Then when they get to college, they don't do a whole lot of full contact 11-on-11 tackling. And you can only simulate it so much in practice going half speed that what started off in the NFL 40 years ago, light workouts, well, the guys in the NFL, thank you, Bill Walsh. You got this started, Bill Walsh. The guys in the NFL knew how to tackle. They didn't have to practice anymore. Well, then it bled down to the colleges. Now it's bled down to the high schools. Now nobody tackles. Hard to do when you don't do it. John, a Facebook John. That sounds really bad. I'm going to rephrase that. I know someone has probably mentioned it prior to me, but what's the status of Micah Hudson? Doesn't seem to me we could get much worse playing the guy. Yeah. The status of Micah Hudson, according to Joey McGuire, the last 2 weeks, is that he wasn't good enough to get on the field because the guys in front of him were playing too good. And if you put him out there, who do you take out? And game flow, and then people are clamoring for that. Well, they're clamoring for me to do a lot of stuff, and I don't know, Don. I guess Micah Hudson isn't good enough to play for Texas Tech right now. I guess. I don't know why. He was up until last week. Weird things happen. Starter 179. I'm fine going for it on 4th, but our offense isn't good enough to have the right to go for it on 4th. Situational, agreed. Don't have a problem with going for it on 4th down. Time, place, game dictates. Do we practice tackling drills? Do they do the Oklahoma drill? No, they certainly don't do that. And they do very little live tackling, live practice. Very little. Brady Boyd, Hudson. Yeah, you played. He got his catch last night. What do you want, man? I mean, you had 11 receivers play. What do you want? He got a catch, 4 yards. 6 on the yak. How do you get 4 and 6 on the yak? Oh, okay, yeah. Got to be online. I mean, right there. 1, 4 yards. I'm looking at it. Bigger question for me was Conyers in the passing game. 2 for 6. 2 for 6. You know? Yeah, nobody practices tackling anymore. Pretty much. That's just the way of the world. Can't give you any other reason other than that why you see poor tackling. You know who made a great tackle last night on punt coverage, and that was John Curry. Shout out Coronado Mustangs. Curry, they got to find a way to get Curry on the field more. Like his granddad, the dude's a ball player. Get him out there. Scott Donnie Williams was irritating to Matt Wells his final 2 seasons. Why do coaches not handle questions well? Because they good. That's a good question. Mostly it's because they live in a highly protected cocoon where very rarely does anybody tell them they're wrong or challenge their, quote, authority. So they don't like it. Yeah, WSU, they tackled okay. I mean, they had their share of misses. I'm just saying tackling in general is a lost art, getting harder and harder to do. Let's see. Rephrase. Personally, could care less. Well, how much less could you care? Didn't want Tech on a 5-0 streak into Arizona. I wanted them on that. The goal, conference champ game. I'd say the goal is win as many games as you can. Book based on large numbers. You can't get to mean unless hundreds of opportunities so useless. There's a lot of stuff going on right there, folks, that I'm not prepared to unravel for you. A few more minutes here tonight. Glad you guys are with us here on Raiderland Rewind. For those who don't know, we're here every night, Monday through Friday, usually not on Sunday, usually rewind on Saturday. The daily broadcast at 6:30. We rehash the day with you, the day's events. We start the day on the website, theraiderland.com, our little morning column. Check out the hot links section. Coolest links from Raiderland and beyond. You get your question of the day and everything else and kind of what we're thinking about. And then also 60 seconds of Raiderland. We usually hit you with just some quick thoughts during the day, something to remind you, get your blood percolating and your mind getting all right to give you a chance to get in on the daily broadcast during the evening. So again, I hope everybody will subscribe to the YouTube channel. I hope everybody's with us on Facebook. Whatever you do on that, whether you like it or whatever, however you follow that on Facebook, I don't know. Twitter at Ryan Hyatt Media. I think most of you guys know that. Oh, I don't know if it's a great answer on Coach Speak, but yeah, I mean, these guys are making millions of dollars now, and nobody tells them that the emperor ain't got no clothes on. They don't like to be questioned. How dare you? Best way to answer most reporters' questions is with a stupid answer equal to the question. Leave me out of that. Yeah, leave me out of that. How'd everybody do on their NFL picks today? Everybody do good? For those of you that dabble, everybody have a good weekend on that? Anything else from the college realm, Big 12 or otherwise? Last chance to get in questions or comments. We're pleased you're with us tonight. Always enjoy it. Always enjoy the time we have to spend together. Supper is looming, though. The Leach method of answering questions. They had many methods. By the way, the video that they showed the team the night before that Cody Campbell posted, don't show that again. That apparently did not have the desired effect. You know, am I surprised Arizona State is 2-0? Yeah, Arizona State's surprised they're 2-0. I don't know. They had so much turnover and everything else that it was hard to get a handle on just who they have and what they're doing. Joey gets a buyout. He would make a great U.S. Senator. From here, it's possible. Yes. Texas Tech providing senators all around the country. Not bad. I got through the whole thing without that happening until then. Hornets performance at Michigan. Your thoughts? One, Texas is really good. Texas is playing at a high level and played at a high level yesterday. Michigan is really down Michigan is really not anywhere close to what they were last year. But you still, if your Texas rolled in there and owned that game from start to finish, that's impressive. That's how you're relevant. Be relevant, win on the road. If Tech wants to be relevant, be on the road. Hey, I would send Joey, if we could do that, I would send Joey McGuire to Washington right now to take John Cornett's spot. Absolutely. No offense to Joey, the head coach, but I would 100% rather have him as my U.S. Senator than John Cornett. Yeah, I'm afraid Texas is actually pretty dang good. Oklahoma, I'm not buying the Sooners right now. They could have a hard year in the SEC. Welcome to it. Which, who would be laughing to the bank? Why, that would be the man who used to be from West Texas and the head coach at USC. I did not get to watch everything around NFL today. Did we have any former Tech players do anything interesting today? Does anybody know? I think Texas and Georgia right now, if I had to have a 1-2, and then kind of everybody else from what I've seen, David, I would regretfully have to put Texas in that. And then, of course, Northern Illinois. Yesterday, we were all Huskies. Way to go, NIU. And boy, does that make the A&M loss. Yeah, go figure. That's just brutal. Yesterday was great, though. I loved it. Great day of college football. Today, back in the NFL. Enjoyed watching the Red Zone channel and just the back and forth on all the games, not having to worry about who was going to win, other than Miami. Thank you very much, Miami. Other than the Colts catching 3. Hey, a little 5-1 day yesterday, a little 2-1 today. We'll take 7-2 every weekend. You should too. SharpAngleSyndicate.com. SharpAngleSyndicate.com. Code NBW20 saves you 20%. SharpAngleSyndicate.com. Yeah, you didn't go 7-2 this weekend. You might want to go there. Directional Illinois beat the Domers. It was greatness. Dang right it was. It was fantastic. I love those games. All right, well, the dog is barking, so that means it's time to shut her down. Hey, if you got in late, don't worry. We'll have the replay of this posted and archived at theraiderland.com. That's theraiderland.com. I want you to follow me on Twitter at Ryan Hyatt Media, and then, of course, the YouTube channel, Ryan Hyatt's Raiderland. So check that out and grow the subscription on that. If you guys can share this when we post it off the website at theraiderland.com tonight, I'll link to it on Twitter and everything else. That would be awesome. And then, like I said, first thing in the morning, we're looking for you. A big Monday morning of Raiderland hot links and more. And I got to hit the little button that says "in the stream." Sounds like a joke for people over 60. Thank you, Scott. I appreciate it. John, you got in late, but I'm glad you got in. All right. Let's go wrap it up. Raiderland Rewind brought to you by Thacker Jewelry here in West Texas. We'll see you in the morning, theraiderland.com.